Hello, everyone. This is Namura, and I'm here to bring another message from Spirit for the collective for the time of the eclipses that we are in. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy it and I hope you find it helpful. This started with a vision that I had a few days ago, and I saw what I perceived to be a version of the Lord Shiva. And because I don't know that much in reality about Hinduism, I didn't exactly know which aspect of Shiva this was. However, by the looks of it, I actually looked it up, and it turns out that it is Kala Bhairava. Please pardon me if I don't pronounce it right. His name means frightful in Sanskrit. And the more I connected with it, the more it made sense why he chose to present itself to me. And the reason why he came and he's still around is because many of us are at this point of a transformation, a quite significant transformation. And I have been talking about this in my previous messages with this shift in frequency. And of course, any transformation encompasses a death and a rebirth. Everything new that we create needs space in our life, and that means that something else needs to give. And the more we align with our true nature, with our truth, with our true desires, and with our free will in reality, the more the things that we need to give up are things that are not in alignment with this truth and true nature and so forth. Yeah. So the Lord Shiva, in his avatar or expression as Kala Bhairava, he helps people creating these shifts that are not comfortable. He helps overcoming obstacles that are preventing us from connecting fully and expressing fully our truth and our true nature. And by overcoming obstacles, I mean mainly overcoming our fears, because these are our fears are our main obstacles, and any external obstacles that we may perceive are also a reflection or a manifestation of some of our fears that we might or might not be aware of. It is said that when this specific version, this specific aspect of Shiva comes in, things can be a bit intense and a bit shaky. It's a bit like a tower moment for those who know tarot, and if you don't, the tower represents basically that moment where what was built on a foundation that wasn't solid and true is being destroyed so that it can be rebuilt in truth and out of truth. As we are being pulled by these frequencies that I was talking about coming in, this is a moment, as I said, of death and rebirth. And we have been through many deaths and rebirths, and it's again all part of this karmic cycle. We have to keep clearing and closing down many, many things that we've carried for a very long time, so that we can, or before we can fully step into this new paradigm. Especially that we are doing this as a collective. Of course, on one hand, you may think, oh gosh, this is so much. Why do I have to carry all this burden from everybody? But at the same time, there are things that we would not be able to do on our own, just because we are part of this collective, much as we want it or not. We are an integral part of the human collective. Speaking of this karmic cycle, another aspect that Kala Bhairava is helping with is this purge of karmic burdens and ties that we've carried with us for many lifetimes, many incarnations. This can be in a way that is very, very intense. However, the message here is to understand that whatever comes that might look like it's shaking our foundation, it comes for our highest good, ultimately. To be honest, the way I perceive it in this situation, it feels like this shake-up is actually created by ourselves consciously, or at least to some extent consciously. Of course, even if it comes as something that we completely perceive as an external influence, as I said, this will still be a reflection of what we truly desire. Yeah? A classic example would be if someone loses their job and they feel lost, they feel super stressed, but actually it was a job that they didn't like to start with, and they just were scared to leave. But by actually being forced to get out of it, they end up finding something much better and without difficulty. So, of course, this is, as I said, just an example, but it's the kind of divine intervention that I can say, so that can come to break down what doesn't serve us and what consumes our resources, our energy, our time, and altogether the space that we have in our life, and makes room for something that is what we truly desire and what is truly beneficial for us to come in. So this is a lot actually about getting to a point of clarity and having the courage and the level of trust to follow your dreams and your intuition. I want to thank Lord Shiva for presenting itself, and each and every one of us has a chance, an opportunity to accept his gifts, his willingness to offer his help at this time, and to choose their own strength, courage, justice, and truth, trusting that this will lead to health, wealth, and altogether much happier experience of our lives. There is another message that was coming since I was talking about intuition, and Spirit says, if things seem heavy, if you feel overwhelmed, And if you feel like you struggle to create space for yourself in your own life, for what you truly desire, space to take care of yourself and of your dreams, it is time to stop trying to sort out everything yourself and instead to ask Spirit to give you the best ways and means to deal with everything around you. In many cases, I found myself in situations where I thought there's no way out or no way to solve it. And much as I would have thought about it, and I did, believe me, I just couldn't figure out anything that would even remotely work. And as soon as I decided to drop all this struggle, effectively surrender and release all this to Spirit and truly decide to let Spirit take the reins of that, I've got some solutions that were extraordinarily simple and transformed the situations in almost miraculous ways, completely unexpected and actually way beyond any kind of expectations. This time of death and rebirth is specifically a time of surrendering and a time of making peace and focusing on peace. This is the only thing that we need to put our focus on. Making peace with ourselves, with our past, with everything that is troubling us by simply surrendering it to Spirit and deciding that we just don't want to give it any more energy than we already have. There is also presence of the Archangel Azrael here, helping with this, and the Archangel Azrael is extraordinarily helpful with this kind of situations, with helping us surrender, helping us get closure and gaining peace. Because we do need to reach this moment of peace before we can jump into the new, before we can fully engage with the new. Otherwise, we'll always be dragged back, we'll always be dragged down, and we'll never be fully free to enjoy what is in front of us. It is really a time of alchemy, alchemizing our old wounds into balance and composure. Again, for those who know the tarot, I'm very much having the image of the Temperance card. And this is a card connected very much with the Archangel Michael, which makes a lot of sense in this situation, because the tools that Archangel Michael has, tools that are also available for us to utilize, are the Sword of Truth, which is necessary so that we can see this truth that we are aligning with, and the Flame of Love, which is helping us going through this potentially harsher moments that the bare truth brings to us in a state of love, feeling loved, and being able to expand our hearts to receive this truth. Because when our hearts are open, There's no fear, there's no obstacles, and there's nothing stopping us from choosing ourselves. And in this state, the alignment with the truth itself is absolutely organic, natural, and occurs very easily because it fully resonates with what's in our heart and what is being exposed from within our hearts. The last part of my message was coming from Pan, the Lord of Nature. His message is to connect with nature in any big or small way that we can, and specifically to actually plant something. Even if we don't have a garden, it can be a seed in a pot that we have in our home. And the purpose of this is for us to be able to experience the creation of life, the way life develops, and the miracle of life, really, by actually connecting consciously with this process, which is honestly extraordinarily miraculous if you give it your attention and consideration. This aligns us and attunes us with this energy of life, of growth, of creation, and of natural creation out of truth. Natural life that develops organically in truth. Because there's nothing more natural, more of truth than a plant growing, a baby being born, a baby animal being born, any form of nature embodiment in any way being born and developing under our eyes without being forced and without having any expectations imposed on it. And particularly with plants is the easiest to observe this because plants have more of a collective consciousness and they have less of an individuality, which is why they are the furthest, if I can say so, away from self-awareness that then potentially can lead to some form of judgment or self-consciousness. Make this a conscious exercise to realign yourself with the miracle of life so that you can actually embody this natural process of organic growth as a live being on earth. Because honestly, many of us have actually forgotten what it means to grow and develop in a natural, organic way, in complete truth and connection with our own divine nature that is expressed through our incarnation, our embodiment as humans on earth. So I would like also to thank Han for his wisdom and for his support, for his energy. And we're coming to the end of this message. In conclusion, plant your seeds and let go of what is not true for you. And this will bring you the life that you desire and the transformations that you desire. And remember, if you want to be somewhere else than you currently are, you have to first accept that you won't be where you are anymore. Energetically, physically, emotionally, in whichever way this resonates for you. With that being said, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped. I wish you a smooth transition through this eclipse season and through these transformations that are upon us. And I hope to see you again. Bye bye. Much love to all. Namora.